Hello everybody, how are you doing? I'm Mitz, and today I'm going to start my new series on this channel, LPS Series 101, where I share my tips and tricks on making LPS series start to finish. We're going to cover everything from finding that initial inspiration, all the way to producing your series, writing your series, writing characters, and anything in between. So if you're interested, go ahead and subscribe, and let's just hop right into it. You can get inspired by literally anything. It can be a piece of media like a show or a movie. It can be an LPS show or movie. It can even be a song, a general vibe that you passed by. Just anything that really gave you a moment to think and something to be creative about. I actually like taking my own inspiration for a series from real life productions, a series on TV, songs even. I really like taking inspiration from music. If it's your thing, I highly recommend doing it because it's super duper helpful to have songs as your guide. I really love doing that, which brings me to the next point, which is the tools that you're gonna need for this. During this stage, I usually stick to generally only two tools, which are Spotify or a music player, and Pinterest to create a vision board. Now, you don't have to do this. I generally like doing this because it captures the vibe that I want to go for. For example, if I have like a vague idea of what I want my series to be, what I want the atmosphere to feel like, I usually use a Pinterest board for that, and I just save stuff that give me the same kind of feeling, as well as also relying on music. When I make my series, I really like using the music that gives me inspiration in the actual episodes, like when I do the soundtrack, which is something that I'm going to talk about on this channel. Don't worry, but yeah, music is a big inspiration for me. Music, pictures, pieces of media, whatever you feel like, whatever gives you that spark, it's important to have that. So anything that gives you inspiration. Now, after you have that initial vibe, I would start thinking about the basics, which are still the bare bones of the series. You don't need to think about characters even, you don't need to think about the writing. Leave that all to the next stages of this process. For now, you just need to feel all that motivation and creativity and start thinking about the general plot and story of your series, which you don't need that many details to do this. You basically need to decide just a few things. For example, the place where the series takes place. It's going to be relevant for your sets later, so it's kind of important to know that. The setting of your story as also to boost the vibes that you're going for. If you're already thinking about characters, you don't have to, but it's totally okay to already think about what you want your characters to generally be like. What you want. If you have a specific character idea that drives you, this is a good place to write it down. The general plot that is going to drive the show. For example, you don't even have to think about all the plot lines. You just need to think about the general pitch of your series, which is the bare bones, most simple way to describe what is going on in the series. For example, let's say you want a fantasy series that takes place in a forest, and your main character is a girl and you have a few side characters that go with her on a journey. For this whole thing, you just need the journey part. You don't even need to think about who the characters are, what their relationships are like. You just need the general idea. It is important to know what you're going to be doing in the series, because if you just have the characters or just the vibe, it's not gonna get you anywhere unless you know your story idea. This is basically the most fun part about this process, in my opinion, because you have your bare bones, you have your inspiration, your random bursts of creativity to invest in this project. In this stage, I would highly recommend staying very open to anything that comes to mind. When I start writing, I always try to lock in on my ideas to think better, but then something passes my mind and I'm like, oh, this is a better idea, I can add this, or maybe if I want another plot line, or to change this character, or to change that setting. It's important to know that this is still a stage where you can change anything you want, and it's not bad. It shouldn't make you feel lost, but it should make you feel like you have creative liberty. right now. This is not the technical stuff yet, it's not the hard part. Now you're just basking in the vibes. So the most important part is to have fun. Latch on those things that give you the spark that you need to make your series. Those things that give you creativity and give you ideas and all those good feelings that make you want to make your series, because you're not even in the technical part yet, you're just starting out, and it's very, very important to stay open. Go with the flow. Whatever comes to mind, write your ideas, no matter how stupid they look, no matter how incoherent. You write everything down. To be a good writer, you need to write everything down. It doesn't matter if your idea is like, and you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, this is a good idea, but I don't feel like writing it. Write it down. Write everything down. It's very important to have everything on paper or in your notes. When I start making my series, I like making a Google Doc to have everything. And it's usually very, very unorganized during those stages. Don't feel like you need to make it pretty. Just make it exist. That's everything. So yeah, these are the initial steps you need to start making your series. You need your motivation. You need your bare bones structure of the plot. And anything that gives you that drive is perfect. I will be back in the next episode of this series on my channel with a whole new topic for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this and learned something new. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.